Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My name is CringeyJesse, and this is Formula One Manager 23. Back at it again with the Has career after a wonderful race down in Monaco, coming in P4 with Kevin Magnussen, the highest position finish that we've had so far this season, and it's only been 7 rounds. Off to round 8 today here in Spain. And as we are about to start the race weekend, I have come to another problem. Problem. That is the new word today. Looking at our cars real quick, everything, blah, 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 blah. He's got everything. Kevin Magnussen, he's good. He's aight. However, you see that 0 next to the chassis? That 0 next to the side pods? Fam, I was not prepared for how this installment would go. Yes, we are using some broke parts at the moment, but that is because, and only because, we're doing it for practice. After practice is over, we will switch them over to the good parts. But car 2, Nico Hulkenberg. Same thing. Almost same thing. Let's see. There we go. Same thing. There we go. Alright. Same thing. Old parts for practice. We're going to keep the new ones for... We are missing a chassis. I don't have an extra chassis. And I can't make another chassis because my manufacturer is full with these two projects right here. One finishes in 20 days, one finishes in 23 days. And that's at least 2 races that could possibly be missed. And I don't think I can continue on. And I really don't want to stop one, but this is us about to stop one if we have to. Blocked. Yeah, missing car parts, so we are going to have to stop one. I also heard that there was an update, and it showed season budget, the cap, the season cap. I don't know where to look at that, so I don't know if that's the same for us. Cost cap projected 130, remaining cap 73. So I don't know that much about the game to know if that's accurate or not. I just try not to spend a lot of money, even though I usually do spend a lot of money. Also, where is it at? There was an update that I saw that said you can change teams. You can change teams. If you get fired, you apply for other teams, which is cool. I guess that's just the end of the season kind of thing because I don't see it anywhere. But I am going to go and do my car thing before this video becomes too long on the one thing. Let's see. We have more suspension than we do chassis. And what's the part that I'm missing? Chassis. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We are actually going to delete the chassis because we need the chassis. And we're going to go back. Chassis. Manufacture. No, I want to manufacture. Okay, I did hit manufacture. We're going to make about 4 of them. And, oh, it's already on emergency. Alright, cool. So that's going to be all of our monies. But we do have chassis now. Ayo. There we go. There we go. Boom. Pow. Anyway. Off to the practice sessions I go. 5. What the heck? Oh, it's the powertrains. I'm not worried about the powertrains and stuff. I will fix that right before qualifying. Speaking of, that is where I will see you at next.
Welcome to qualifying. Let's find out if all that practice will pay off for the drivers.
Drivers need to get into Q3 if they want to make the top half of the grid. With only 10 slots available, it's a fight nobody wants to lose.
There, of course, we've got Nico Hulkenberg. How do you think he's faring heading into qualifying?
It's interesting because they weren't that fast in practice. I'm not sure if this was a lack of pace or just the team trying different things, but I imagine we'll see their true performance soon enough.
Strap yourselves in. This is Formula One.
Alright, here we are in qualifying Q1 with Kevin Magnussen and Nico Hulkenberg. And as usual, here's what I expect. Here's my predictions. Kevin Magnussen disqualified, or not qualified, whatever. He will be eliminated in Q2, whereas Nico Hulkenberg will barely scrape by into Q3. But then for the race, Nico Hulkenberg will not get points and Kevin Magnussen will get P10. That is my predictions, but let's get started.
Green light.
Let's see if I can get Nico Hulkenberg out behind that Ferrari. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Alright, we know the drill. And here we are with the first lap. We are going to go ahead and put these on the time so that we can see the times. As we see Kevin Magnussen, I still get their names mixed up. I don't know why. Kevin Magnussen, as he sets a purple sector 1, but it is now green, and it is going to be green for Nico Hulkenberg as well, as I'm going to assume it was the Ferrari that has the purple sector 1. Coming up into the end of sector 2 here, it's going to be purple for Kevin Magnussen, and now green, and still green for Nico Hulkenberg, as once again it is that Ferrari setting the purple sectors throughout the lap. And here comes Kevin Magnussen with a 114.2, and then we have Nico Hulkenberg as he comes across the line, P4, slower than Yuki Tsunoda, and almost a second and a half behind that Ferrari, whereas Kevin Magnussen is less than a second behind that Ferrari. But as we speed up, we're going to see how well that plays out. Alright, as time is dwindling down to that 2-minute 30-second mark, which is when we like to send out our cars, Nico Hulkenberg is in the most danger. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to get him out behind these Red Bulls. Maybe he can get a slipstream on those guys. And I don't think we need to send Kevin Magnussen out, so I am just not going to do that. I am going to save tires and not send Kevin Magnussen out, because I don't see him losing all the way out and then being disqualified. Alright, here we go. It looks like we lost out on those Red Bulls, but we are going to get past Logan Sargent, who's all the way up in P9 at the moment. That is wild. That is wild. Hoping for a green sector 1, and we do get it. Nico Hulkenberg is improving. We love to see that, as we are coming up very quickly, but it is ×2 to the end of sector 2, and it is a green sector 2. We are still improving, hopefully just enough to get out of the elimination zone. We do know that that is a end of the sector, and you know what, he's going to slow us down again, but we're coming up to the end of the line. Nico Hulkenberg improves all the way up to P7. He will also make it into Q2 at the moment, which I just don't see him not getting into Q2 at the moment either. So we're going to go ahead and speed this up, and we're going to see who our eliminateds are, and it looks like it's going to be on. Okay, so we do have 2 penalties up top, so that could help us out if we get up there. Anyway, your eliminateds are Oscar Piastri, Alexander Albon, Lando Norris, Nick DeVries, and Zhou Guanyu out in Q1 here at the Spanish Grand Prix, on to Q2. Alright, so both of our drivers finishing in the top 10. That was something I was definitely not expecting. We are going to send out Nico Hulkenberg first. He is starting on the same tire as he did in Q1 at 80%. And then we are going to start out with 90% tires. Same tires we used in Q1 for Kevin Magnussen as well at 90%. I don't know if I said that. Sorry if I repeated myself. But on to the lap we go. Alright, here we go with Nico Hulkenberg as he is crossing that line. We're going to go ahead and set up the timers. And we are already going to be dealt with some traffic, as there is a Ferrari in front of us. Hopefully he stays out of the way, not really through that turn, so that's going to probably slow us down, as Nico Hulkenberg does get the purple sector 1, but Kevin Magnussen is going faster. However, Kevin Magnussen does have fresher tires, than Nico Hulkenberg, so he probably will be faster as we come up on traffic once again. And that looks like it's Logan Sargent in the Williams as a purple sector 2 for Kevin Magnussen. We come across the line P1 115.7, and we go to watch Kevin Magnussen, who is going to get a 114.7, putting him on P1 with a time to beat at the moment, but having to deal with traffic as he crosses the line. I wonder if that slows him down at all, as there is another car out there who is doing faster already, but we're going to go ahead and skip to the end of Q2 right here. Alright, here we are at the 3-minute mark. We're actually going to speed that up just a little bit because I do not need all of that time. But both of our drivers, P12, P15, in the elimination zone. We're going to go ahead and send out Kevin Magnussen. It is right under 2 minutes and 30 seconds, so I'm going to hope that he can get there. And there goes Nico Hulkenberg at the 2-minute 15 mark, so I'm also going to hope that he can get there. He should be able to get there with ease, but we are going to go ahead and skip to the end of the lap and just make sure. Alright, with a minute to go, Kevin Magnussen will most definitely pass that line. And here comes Nico Hulkenberg with 40 seconds to go. He has also passed that line. They will both be able to finish out this lap, and we are going to hope for green sectors from Kevin Magnussen. We definitely got that one. And here comes Nico Hulkenberg, who also has a green sector. We love to see it, as Kevin Magnussen is closing in on sector 2 as time is running out. This will be the last lap. We need to go ahead and put that back on ×2. So sorry, it is green sector 2 for Kevin Magnussen and a green sector 2 for Nico Hulkenberg. My color blindness almost messed me up because that almost did not look like a green sector 2 for Nico Hulkenberg, as we do get P7 with Kevin Magnussen, P10 for Nico Hulkenberg, but that is all kinds of dangerous as we see Logan Sargent and Yuki Tsunoda coming to finish the line. Logan Sargent does not get to the end. He will not bump Nico Hulkenberg out. But here comes Yuki Tsunoda. As of right now, Esteban Ocon, Logan Sargent, Valtteri Bottas, and Pierre Gasly, and Yuki Tsunoda, who decides to go into the pit lane, will be eliminated from Q2. Both of my drivers making it into Q3. I believe that is the first time we have seen that so far this season, as both drivers have made it to Q3, but unfortunately only one at a time, never both of them on the same week. But this will be the first time that happens. Esteban Ocon, Logan Sargent all the way up in P12. That is crazy to see. Valtteri Bottas, Yuki Tsunoda, and Pierre Gasly will be the ones eliminated out of Q2. On to Q3 we go. Alright, once again we have both of my drivers using the same tire they finished out on Q2 with. They're both at 91%, so we are going to see what they can do on those tires before we send them out on fresher tires. We're going to let Kevin Magnussen go first, and then we're going to let Nico Hulkenberg go shortly after him. I think that might be too much of a gap, though, for them to use Slipstream, but we will see how that works out for them. Alright, we have Kevin Magnussen starting his lap. He's going to get out in front of that Ferrari. There is another Ferrari up there, but never mind, there is no buts. We will catch up to him at some point. He will be in the way. I've messed up. It is a purple sector 1 for Kevin Magnussen and a green sector 1 for Nico Hulkenberg. Kevin Magnussen obviously flying through this track today, as he is now caught up to the other Ferrari. Will the other Ferrari stay out of the way? He does. Thank goodness. Purple sector 2, as someone else is taking the fastest sector 1 away from Kevin Magnussen. A green sector 2 for Nico Hulkenberg. And across the line we go with a 113.9 with Kevin Magnussen. And across the line we go, Nico Hulkenberg 0.8 off with a 114.8. Wow. Not bad. Alright, we're going to go into the garage as Perez takes P1 away from Kevin Magnussen. We're going to go to the garage and switch out these tires and hopefully get better times so we can start further up than P9 and P10, where I assume my guys will finish. Alright, so as of right now, everybody has gone through the track, and we are P5 with Kevin Magnussen. We love to see it. P10 with Nico Hulkenberg, which is very unfortunate. But as we dwindle down to the time to go, we're going to send out Nico Hulkenberg We're going to send out Kevin Magnussen. Maybe a little closer this time than last time. I don't think so, but we will find out. And as we are coming to, there we go. Coming up to the line, Nico Hulkenberg will start his lap. And then there's a yellow flag. Hopefully it just stays a yellow flag as we continue. Hulkenberg does lock up on turn 1, which is not a good sign, as he looks like that is Kevin Magnussen, who looks like he is trying to get around Nico Hulkenberg. Yeah, that just slowed up all the time we had. 100%. I can't even tell who's in the back. We're looking at Kevin Magnussen, who is definitely behind, both with a yellow sector 1. Nico Hulkenberg got a green sector 2, but yeah, Kevin Magnussen did not. But we are now coming around to the finish. Kevin Magnussen was definitely faster. We should have let him go first, but it did not work that way. Nico Hulkenberg does not improve. Kevin Magnussen does not improve. Hamilton, however, has a chance to improve. We're going to go ahead and speed him up so that we can get him to the end line. Lewis Hamilton coming across the line. He does not improve. He is slower than Kevin Magnussen. So it will be a P7 and P10 start for my Has Bros in the Spanish Grand Prix. Verstappen provisional pole at the moment, as we watch Sergio Perez come across the line, and he will not be able to secure pole, as it is Max Verstappen once again on pole. Here is your top 10. We have Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez, Charles Leclerc on podiums. However, Charles Leclerc does have that penalty, so it will be Carlos Sainz starting P3. I have no idea where these two will end, so we're going to say 3 spots. 1, 2, 3. Charles Leclerc starting P6, if I am correct. We will find out, which means Carlos Sainz will be P3. We're not going to do that. I'm not going to try to do that math. Anyway, P7 for Kevin Magnussen, Lewis Hamilton, and George Russell. P8, P9. Nico Hulkenberg starting P10. That is your top 10. 1, 2, 3. We are going to assume Kevin Magnussen is going to bump up to P6 with Fernando Alonso starting in P8 and Carlos Sainz 1, 2, 3. Kevin Magnussen possibly starting P5 in front of. Hello? There's only one way to find out. And we will see you guys at the race.
The teams are making their final preparations down in the pit lane, ahead of today's race.
Barcelona is a circuit with plenty of history under its belt. It was here, after all, that multiple world champion Max Verstappen secured his very first F1 victory back in 2016. And it's a little rainy here today. Only a few drops for now, but teams will be monitoring the situation really closely during the race.
And there are going to be some tough calls to make in Catalonia today. So let's see who makes the best ones for the Spanish Grand Prix. The stage is set here in Barcelona as we get ready for 66 laps of the Spanish Grand Prix. Many people here and at home are wondering what the Haas driver can do.
They got everything right to earn that P6 position. Now they've just got to show they can do it again in the race.
So let's see what today has in store, shall we? This is it. It's the Spanish Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Alright, so Charles Leclerc bumps down to P5, but it is Kevin Magnussen who does get up to P6. Where's Alonso? Alonso fell all the way back out of the top 10. And that is crazy. There's already a yellow flag. It was a competitor who locked up. Nico Hulkenberg and Esteban Ocon are out here. They are fighting. But it looks like there's no longer any fights going. And now that we are past turn 1, we are going to go ahead and turn on those so that they can do what they have to do.
You can do this.
into this race. We're going to go back and look at Kevin Magnussen. Everybody looks like they are in line. It is a rainy race here in the Spanish Grand Prix. The driest part of the track is at the very end. As you can see, these are my strategies for the race at the moment. We have Nico Hulkenberg on intermediates for 2 stints. And we have Kevin Magnussen, 2 stints of intermediates. And then at the very end, softs, but he may not go to them. That's just me trying to figure out what to do here. As we come to the end of lap 1, there is no DRS. There is no real reason to be put on under the second. However, the closer we are, the better. I've always said that. I will always say that. We're going to let these guys race in the rain because I'm just really bad in the rain. I'm 100% just really bad in the rain. Even on Formula 123, if you watch those videos, I'm just garbage in the rain. So I'm just going to hope that my tires do well and my drivers do better, as they are holding on to their positions just nicely. How unfortunately they are falling away from the people in front of them. Kevin Magnussen now 3 seconds behind Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari, trying to hold back Lewis Hamilton and George Russell, as Nico Hulkenberg is about 1.5 seconds behind Esteban Ocon, but holding back Valtteri Bottas and Fernando Alonso. This could lead to some dangerous signs, as my predictions were wrong during qualifying. However, they still have a chance to be correct during the race, as Kevin Magnussen is P6 and Nico Hulkenberg just trying to hold on to P10. I'm really hoping he does not fall out of the points, because we could definitely use a race where both of my drivers end up in the points. I would absolutely love that. And Kevin Magnussen, we're going to go look and talk about Kevin Magnussen for a little bit. Definitely using that momentum from the Monaco race into today's race, as he got P7 in qualifying, but because of penalties, he was able to jump up to P6. You know, that's 2 positions off where he finished the other day. You know, and if I can strategize the correct way, and he can drive the correct way, because we all know coming near the end of each and every race, Kevin Magnussen has just done phenomenally better than what he did at the start of the race. Maybe he can still gain a few spots. As we saw the notification up top, it is Fernando Alonso getting past Nico Hulkenberg in the top 10, knocking Nico Hulkenberg out of the points. But this is my first year as a Has principal, and my goal for each and every race, which seems to be set very low, is just P15 and higher. And I besides Nico Hulkenberg getting DNF'd in Monaco, which I believe was the first and only DNF I've had out of both of my drivers so far, I can't think of a single race where they did not finish above P15. So if that is the case, we're going to have to up the ante next one. It's going to be a little bit more of a struggle. Maybe it'd be both of them P10 or higher. Maybe both of them P13 and higher. I don't know. We'll figure it out when that bridge gets here. That's when we will cross it. But for now, P15 and higher just seems like the right way to go, as we are going to go back and look at Kevin Magnussen, who has a good gap in between him and Lewis Hamilton of P7, but an even better gap between him and Charles Leclerc, which is very unfortunate, because we would rather him be closer to Charles Leclerc than Lewis Hamilton at the moment. And we are gaining, so like I said, I'm not going to use his gas yet. There is another yellow flag, and something happened to Max Verstappen. He spun. We're going to go ahead and take a look at that. Max Verstappen coming around the corner. He just lost it into the gravel. Into the gravel he goes. Sergio Perez is the new leader here in the Spanish Grand Prix. Then it's Carlos Sainz and Max Verstappen, who is 3 seconds behind Carlos Sainz. That is your top 3. And we will see if that stays that way or not. Hopefully, with Nico Hulkenberg, as he is almost 2 seconds behind the Alpine, who looks like he is fighting George Russell at the moment. Alonso does get the overtake done on Kevin Magnussen, but Kevin Magnussen is going to have that DRS down all the way into turn 1. We're going to use it to try to keep up with him and to get away from Lewis Hamilton. And that is the only thing that I am worried about with Kevin Magnussen, and that is staying away from Lewis Hamilton. We will have another DRS zone coming up at some point. We are getting close to it. We're still within a second, so we're going to go ahead and turn on that ERS because he's going to have the DRS. Get as close as possible, maybe, possibly. Doesn't look like he got close at all. We're going to leave it on because we have another one coming up. If we can get inside that 1 second point in time, which we will not, but we will have it on the straight, the ERS, not the DRS. Then after that, we are not going to fight too hard to keep up with him. We're going to go over here and look because we forgot about his ERS, and his ERS didn't really do him no good, so we are going to let him, as he is 10 seconds behind or in front of Valtteri Bottas. We're going to let him harvest his, get his back up to normal. Has been making all of these races very, very boring, as we do see some front runners coming in the pit lane. I don't know if that means it's actually time, though. We're going to get in front of Carlos Sainz up into P4. It looks like Fernando Alonso also went to the pit lane. That's going to move Nico Hulkenberg up to P8, as we are right here with Carlos Sainz, basically slowing him down. That's really what we're doing, because he is 100% in a faster car than we are. Sergio Perez, he's going into the pit lane. But I do believe, even with us being right there, that is not going to help Sergio Perez get out in front of Carlos Sainz. As, oh, it's Perez and Carlos Sainz fighting for P2. But I think Sergio Perez, he got it done. He did get it done. Into the pit lane. Nico Hulkenberg coming into the pit lane. I'm hoping it doesn't really slow anybody down, as there goes Kevin Magnussen still in P9. And there goes Nico Hulkenberg. He's going to drop back out of the top 10 and out of the points. It didn't slow him down at all, so it's okay. I'm not mad at that. We are back at 99%, and we are going to go ahead and push his as well. We're going to look up here. We have Lance Stroll, who is yet to box. We have Lewis Hamilton and George Russell, who is yet to box. So we've had 3 cars in front of us that have yet to box. And for Kevin Magnussen, I believe that would work the best. Here we are on lap 43, and it looks like the sun is coming out. However, we're going to look at the weather forecast, and it is getting close to time for the sun to come out. We're still at 1.78 millimeters of wetness on the track. No sign of that going away at the moment, as we have a 30% chance of rain in less than 2 minutes. And we are going to do the same for Nico Hulkenberg. You know what else would make me absolutely just mad? If nobody switches, right? Lance Stroll is in the pits. Kevin Magnussen is in the pits. And that's all that's in the pits right now. We're bringing both of our guys in early. As we can see, Nico Hulkenberg has come into the pit lane with a 2.5 for Kevin Magnussen. Basically a 2.6, might as well. Then it's going to be a 2.5 for Nico Hulkenberg. Does his get any faster at all? When does it tell us? When does it tell us? I might have missed it. Anyway. But we have a lot of people going into the pit lane, as here comes Kevin Magnussen up P9, P8, P7. Nico Hulkenberg, as he comes around the corner. Can he get any points out of this at all? I got P11. We've got not P10. We are 4 seconds behind George Russell here on lap 49. 15 laps to go for the rest of the track, as Sergio Perez has now made it 14 to go for himself and everybody behind him, which includes P12 of Pierre Gasly, Bottas, Sargent, Tsunoda, Norris, De Vries, Albon, Oscar Piastri, and Guan Yu Zhou. Lewis Hamilton now catching Kevin Magnussen here with 15 laps to go. I'm sorry, it's 15 laps to go for everybody now. Anyway, I'm slow. As we are going to try our best to stay in front of, or at least close to. You know, if he gets around us in a corner, we'll get him at the next DRS straight. So we're going to hold on to our ERS, as we are almost 20 seconds behind Lance Stroll. So there really is no point down into turn 1. Lewis Hamilton is going to have the lead right there. So we're going to go ahead and push our gas, and hopefully we can stay within DRS range, as it looks like Hamilton is doing his best to pull away. But if we can stay inside DRS range, we should be fine. So we're going to go ahead and activate the ERS, try our best to get closer, as we have another DRS range coming up. So we're going to leave the ERS running just a bit longer. Down the front straight, we have the DRS, but it doesn't look like we're going to catch Lewis Hamilton there. So we're going to go ahead and calm down. We want points. We can keep points. Even if Esteban Ocon passes us, I don't see George Russell passing us as we hit 10 laps to go in this race. Not us, but the leader does. And the leader is slowly still catching Nico Hulkenberg, if Nico Hulkenberg hasn't been lapped yet. Nico Hulkenberg has been lapped, so he has 10 laps to go to do whatever it is he has to do. But we are coming up to the end of this lap. It is going to be Lewis Hamilton, then myself, then Kevin Magnussen, and then Esteban Ocon. As we come around, we're going to have the DRS. Lewis Hamilton is not. 10 laps to go for Kevin Magnussen and Lewis Hamilton and Esteban Ocon, who can all fight for P7. All right, here on lap 59 for Kevin Magnussen, I'm going to go ahead and have him push on his tires for just a little bit in hopes to get closer and closer to Lewis Hamilton. And it looks to be working, as he is right there. We're going to go ahead and deploy. Use that to get around him as we pull out to the inside. Heading down to turn 1, we have the inside, and we have the car clearance as we are now back into P7. We're going to slow down on those two things right there. I think I did hit it right. We're going to slow down on those things right there because we might need them again. We're going to get that DRS coming around, and we're going to stay right behind him, get that slipstream. We're going to pull out to the outside, coming down to turn number 1. Here on Pierre Gasly, we're going to have the outside turn, then the inside turn, now the outside once again, going all the way around. Pierre Gasly still keeping that P11 spot as they're what?
Now we're just proceeding through turn 4.
Pierre Gasly could not hold on to his car.
Within a split second, the impact's made.
Pierre Gasly could not hold on to his car.
That was dangerous.
He couldn't do it. We get lapped by a Ferrari,
Right, so
but he couldn't do it.
Fourth corner.
He could not hold on to his car, and he slides out,
And
knocking
not just
our
one car
wing,
involved in that, as you can see.
and we
And
both
they'll have to
slide
pick
off into the
themselves up
wall.
after that.
We get going before Pierre Gasly, so somehow we get the time penalty for that, which is absolutely whack. How do we get the time penalty for that if he was the one who couldn't hold on to his car? Yo, FIA, fix your ruling system, bro. What are you doing? I'm going to put that on neutral. We got some things to look at. It is aerodynamics. It's going to be a suspension. That's okay. We do have more suspensions coming. I'm going to assume it's a 5-second penalty with 3 laps to go. So as long as we can stay where we are, basically ahead of Pierre Gasly, we should be fine. We should still get P11. And it is Sergio Perez who wins the Spanish Grand Prix. Max Verstappen getting P2. It's a Red Bull 1-2. And here comes Carlos Sainz to take P3 in this race. George Russell will take P10. And I do believe Nico Hulkenberg, he's going to take P11. And here comes Gasly around the corner. He's going to take P12. Alonso, he gets P5. We missed that. Leclerc 4, Alonso 5. Here comes Lance Stroll. I don't know why we're doing it that way. But here we are, times 2. Lance Stroll, he gets there. And here, Kevin Magnussen with points once again this weekend here at the Spanish Grand Prix, making the last turn. He does so. P7 for him. Lewis Hamilton and Esteban Ocon, the last to finish this race. And your top 10, George Russell finishing it out. That looks like we did just fine. It looks like Nico Hulkenberg is going to keep that P11.
Magnussen, that was a really good drive today.
That's a solid points finish, and all in all, a good drive for them today.
And onto the podium goes Sergio Perez, and he's certainly in good company there.
That sees them double their win tally for this season. They'll be delighted with that.
And by the looks of things here in Barcelona, the party's only just beginning. Now, Karun, I'd be really keen to know, how do you think the Haas team will be reflecting on today's results?
It was a strangely mixed weekend for them. We saw one driver put in a strong performance, but it was a different story for the other. Definitely positives there, though.
And with that, our time in Barcelona is done.
For the next round, the teams are travelling to the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve for the Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal.
And that is the conclusion of the Spanish Grand Prix weekend. Sergio Perez getting P1 with Max Verstappen in P2. Carlos Sainz finishing out your podium spots, P3. After that, we have Charles Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Lance Stroll, Kevin Magnussen getting P7 with a total of 6 points for the weekend. Lewis Hamilton getting P8. Esteban Ocon getting P9, George Russell getting P10. That is your top 10. And then we have Nico Hulkenberg in P11, Pierre Gasly P12, Valtteri Bottas 13, Lando Norris, Yuki Tsunoda, Logan Sargent, Alexander Albon, Nick De Vries, Oscar Piastri, and Zhou Guanyu finishing it out. I know Alfa Romeo isn't the best of cars on the track, but to see Zhou Guanyu all the way in the back is a little shocking to me, I will not lie. But as we move over to your driver standings, we have Max Verstappen still in that top spot with 180 points. And only 60 points below is Carlos Sainz in P2. And I want to say about 62, my math isn't the greatest, correct me if I'm wrong, but that is Sergio Perez in P3, moving up one spot above Charles Leclerc, who's in P4. P5, Fernando Alonso, Lewis Hamilton, Lance Stroll moving up to P7, George Russell dropping down to P8, Kevin Magnussen, P9, the only driver I have so far in the top 10, Pierre Gasly, P10, Esteban Ocon, Yuki Tsunoda, Nick De Vries has points, Valtteri Bottas has points, Nico Hulkenberg all the way down in 15th with 2 points above Alexander Albon, who also has 2 points, and then Lando Norris with 1 point for McLaren, Oscar Piastri being the top of the no point listed, then Williams is Logan Sargent and Zhou Guanyu in 20th, and then, you know, if we can get Nico Hulkenberg to do better by the end, he has 2 DNFs. I was wrong. Nico Hulkenberg has 2 DNFs. Kevin Magnussen has 0 DNFs. I did not know Nico Hulkenberg had 2. I can only think of 1, and that was in the Monaco. But it says 2, so I believe there's 2, and I have video evidence of the other one. The only other place, maybe, possibly, what's that one circuit called? I cannot think of it. Baku. I could be wrong, but that's the only other place I can think of not having a Finnish driver. But anyway, he has 2. On to your constructors, Red Bull on top, Ferrari in 2nd, Aston Martin in the 3rd, Mercedes in 4th, Alpine in 5th. Less than 10 points we got to go to P5 if we can get there. Has in 6th, and if we keep doing the way we're doing, beating the Alpines, I can see us getting past Alpine. That would be nice. I would love to see that. AlphaTauri in 7th, 8th is Alfa Romeo, Williams in 9th, and McLaren in 10th. Here on, I believe it's round 8. Yeah, 8 of 8. Round 8, everybody has points. If we're not even halfway through the season, everybody has points. And with all of that said, we do finish round 8 here in Barcelona, the Spanish Grand Prix. We have Canada up next. Canada is one of my favorite tracks. We are missing parts. What part are we missing? The suspension. We'll get that fixed in the next video. However, we will also be looking at the contracts for Kevin Magnussen and Nico Hülkenberg in the next video. We're going to try to get them signed for at least the next year, maybe the next 2 years. But that is the goal right now. We're still 6th or above. We are still P6, but like I said, we have a chance of getting P5. If we can get in front of Alpine, stay in front of Alpine in these races, we definitely have a chance. But Canada, like I said, is my favorite track, so I cannot wait to do that. I am sorry for the length that it takes in between videos, and I promise I'm doing everything that I can. I've just been really busy. We also have a storm coming through down here, so hopefully it doesn't knock out the power. If it does, hopefully it's not out for too long. However, I would like to thank you guys for watching my videos. If you do like them, please hit that like button. If you can't wait for the next video, hit that subscribe button. It lets you know when the next one is out a lot sooner, I think. I'm not 100% sure. Either way, hitting those 2 buttons only boost my confidence in making these videos, which I have a lot of fun doing. So I just need to free up more time to do them more often, because I can't wait to see where we go with this, especially with the new updates. If I get fired from a team, I can go to another team. I don't have to start completely over. So yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe if you do really well with a team, other teams will be like, hey, we see that you did really well. Come join us. I don't know. But hopefully we can find out one way or another. But until next time, like I said before, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.